Hello students, welcome to Life Science Creation YouTube channel. This video will gonna be all about the first theory of organic evolution given by Lamarck and called as Lamarckism. So let's get started. It is also known as the theory of inheritance of acquired characters because for very first time. And what is the meaning of inheritance of acquired characters? So let's discuss this. It is the variation developed in the body of living organisms from natural characters in response to change in environmental factors such as light, temperature, medium, food, and also due to the change in functioning of organs in their own lifetime. So what we got here is that the change in environment factors plus their structural and functional component of their body leads to the formation of new species by way of inheritance of acquired characters. So this is the main motive, you can say, postulate of this Lamarck theory of evolution. Now let's discuss the postulates of Lamarckism. First one is new needs, which develops due to changes in environmental factors. All migration of animals या हो सकता है कि माइग्रेशन हो एनिमल्स की फ्रॉम वन प्लेस टू अनदर इन सर्च ऑफ फूड और फेवरेबल कंडीशंस in their survival and ultimately leads to change in habits or behavior. So if the environment changes, their needs will be changed, right? So if in case any rich vegetation, the area will change into desert, right? So the animal has to change his behavior, symptoms, and change his habitats as well. So also need to change is its food requirements, right? So this leads to the high survival rate of organism. So next is the internal vital forces, which tends to increase or decrease in size of body parts of organisms in response to development of new needs and habits. Means these all postulates are interlinked with each other, right? If the new needs will develop, then stimulation of internal vital forces will occur, that is increase or decrease of the body size or any body part. For example, beak in case of Darwin finches, वो हम नेक्स्ट में पढ़ेंगे वैसे, और जिराफ की एग्जांपल ले सकते हैं जिसमें elongation of neck and forelimbs occurs. This is due to the internal vital forces, right students? Next, use and disuse of organs, right? An enhancement of that organ, improvement of that organ is known as the more used organ, and disused जो हम use नहीं करेगा वो organism जो उसके use का नहीं होगा, which get finally degenerated or disappeared. They do not fit to face the change conditions, right? So this was the third postulate of Lamarckism. Let's discuss the next one, inheritance of acquired characters. Now due to the use and disuse and finally the degeneration of disused organ, it leads to inheritance of acquired characters, which I already discussed. Acquired characters due to variation in environmental factors and function of organism, body parts, and structural components as well, right? So these acquired characters will get inherited. Now what is the meaning of inherited? Means to pass on from generation to generation and ultimately leads to new species formation, right? So these get transmitted to their offspring after reproduction, and this will leads to the acquirement of certain new characters, okay? And acquired characters will include new characters, okay, due to the direct or indirect environmental effects. As we all know that plants get directly affected by the environmental conditions, but you can say birds or mammals or animals, they get indirectly because we are dependent on producers. And who are producers? Producers are the plants, which give us food and energy to live our life. If they won't be in the right state, how they will give us the energy, substrate, and food for survival? So we get indirectly affected by change in environmental conditions. So this leads to high survival rate. Next, this postulate is the inheritance of acquired character जो है this is known as Lamarckian doctrine of evolution and also considered as the most important postulate of Lamarckism. और इस जो मैंने अभी डिस्कस किया है इस postulate को कहते हैं Lamarckian doctrine of evolution. ठीक है, ये जो है आपका MCQ या एंट्रेंस एग्ज़ाम में ये पूछा जा सकता है कि कौन सा ऐसा postulate है जिसको डॉक्ट्राइन ऑफ इवोल्यूशन, तो आपने जो है किस पे टिक करना है, इनहेरिटेंस ऑफ एक्वायर्ड कैरेक्टर्स पे. एंड द फर्स्ट एंड very important postulate is speciation, which ultimately leads to formation of new species, and it is a gradual process, right? So means the speciation is not sudden, that within 5 to 10 years new species will form. No, it takes millions, even billions of years to form the new species, right? From ancestral giraffe to modern giraffe, it took millions of years, 500 million years it took, right? So in which new acquired characters accumulate and generation after generation and leads to formation of new species, which shows sum total of characters acquired by number of previous generation. ठीक है, जो न्यू स्पीशीज़ बनेगी वो क्या शो करेगी अपने अंदर, सम टोटल ऑफ कैरेक्टर्स एक्वायर्ड बाय नंबर ऑफ प्रीवियस जनरेशंस, यानी कि जो उसके एंसेस्टर्स में कैरेक्टर्स थे उसका सम टोटल मिला लें तो वो जो एग्जिस्टिंग स्पीशीज़ है, आज की स्पीशीज़ है, उसके अंदर हमें मिलेंगे सम टोटल, राइट? So this is the image of giraffe. Now this is modern giraffe species which formed from ancestral giraffe. Summarize these postulates, that how Lamarck explains the theory of organic evolution, right? First one is environmental change, then need to new structure, यानी कि acquired characters और use और disuse of characters हो गया, new needs आई, फिर new development of new structures, में some organs में are of use and organs of disuse. ठीक है, then inheritance of adaptive characters and origin of new species, and if the organs of disuse and then degeneration of स्ट्रक्चर. जो डिसयूज़ होगा ऑर्गन वो डिजनरेशन हो जाएगा, फाइनली उसकी जो है डिप्लीशन हो जाएगी, वो प्रोजनी टू प्रोजनी पास नहीं होगा. ओके, दिस इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट स्लाइड. Now, what are the evidences in favor of Lamarckism? First one is giraffe, as I already discussed this example, that the present day giraffe has a long neck and long forelimbs due to approach to the tall trees for feeding habits. You know कि in earlier times that when the giraffes were more prominent in African areas, and that African area has rich vegetation, ground rich vegetation, and due to the industrialization, residential by people, African area finally get depleted of rich vegetation and transformed into a desert, right? In which leads to stretch the organs of his neck and forelimbs, and hind limbs were not that much modified as compared to their neck and forelimb region. So this is all about, I discussed in this slide about the giraffe feeding habitat. Now this is a diagram showing that stages of evolution of present day giraffe, कि कैसे वो in first stage he was incapable to approach to tall trees, then with the passage of time he becomes capable, and now the present day species of giraffe has long neck and plus long forelimbs. It is an practical example of Lamarckism. And now thank you so much for watching this video.